Cancer sun, I feel what you don't say. Scorpio moon, I see through the gray. I'm tuned to your soul, I read the unseen. 8th house mind, 12th house dreams. Tarot in my hands, planets in my sight. I decode the dark, turn shadow to light. Every chart's a mirror, every transit a sign. The past, the now, the future, all intertwined. I'm here for your healing, your truth, your rebirth. Reading your stars, reminding your worth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Danyell, Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader. Astrologer divine, reading the natal chart, breaking down the science, seeing life through the lens of astrology.
Hello, welcome back, everyone. Welcome if you are new. And my name is Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. If you're feeling like the world is shifting beneath your feet, well, get ready for February because you're not going to be imagining things. February 2026 is officially here. Well, it's as I'm filming this live, it's the 20th, but it's coming. And we have the Saturn and Neptune conjunction in the sign Aries at 0 degrees. We have an eclipse, a solar eclipse in Aquarius. We're already feeling this. We have Mercury stationing retrograde. That's a doozy. And today I'm going to break it down, the timeline, and maybe even pull some tarot for the collective for February, okay? And who's excited about that? I am. Let's get into these dates. Now, the first date we have here is February 1st. Oh, welcome everyone. If you're listening to this via podcast too. And first, I'm showing the dates, the timeline, and I'm going to read it to you guys so everyone can hear and see. Now, February 1st, we have the full moon in Leo. So, welcome to February, okay, with some energetic energy. February 3rd, Uranus will stop retrograding. February 5th, Mercury will square Uranus. February 6th, Mercury will enter Pisces. February 8th, Venus will square Uranus. On the 10th, Venus will enter Pisces. On the 11th, Mercury will conjunct the North Node. And then the pre-shadow phase of retrograde will begin. Dun, 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 dun. February 13th, Saturn will then enter Aries. And on the 15th, the Sun will square Uranus. On the 16th, Mercury will trine Jupiter. Finally, some good news. On the 17th, we have that annular solar eclipse in Aquarius. You should already be feeling that. Venus will conjunct the North Node that same day. On the 18th, we have the Sun entering Pisces. On the 20th, Saturn will be officially joining Neptune, even though once it enters Aries, we will feel it. But if you want an official date, it's on the 20th. Oh, I'm not even showing you guys that. Sorry. Here is the rest of the timeline. Sorry, I wasn't showing it, but I'm reading it. And then on a February 22nd, we have Venus that will trine Jupiter. Mercury will finally stop retrograding in Pisces. Mercury moves fast, so it retrogrades and then will quickly end. February 27th, will station retrograde. Sorry, not finally end. Will station retrograde. February 27th, the Sun will conjunct North Node. Mars will square Uranus. That's going to be an interesting one. And Venus will conjunct Mercury, retrograding in Pisces. Okay, so those are the dates. Who is excited? February is going to be very interesting. I mean, life is about ups and downs. It brings the twists and the turns. So who wouldn't expect it? Okay, so let's put up our chart here for everyone who is listening. I'm going to explain everything that we're going to be feeling. And we start off with the full moon in Leo. Okay. It will be at 12 degrees. That is an ending, a death, a releasing, a forgiving of something. Well, 13 degrees actually, not it says 13 degrees here. So let me see. Let me put the full moon exactly. Previous the chart. Let's see what we have here. It is at 13 degrees. So it won't be about releasing and death. It will actually be about, it will actually be about something that's starting new. a beginning of some sort. Also, it represents Aries, so that represents fighting, bravery, war, conflict, self, all those doozies. Okay, so 13 degrees Aries degree. Now the moon will be opposing while it's in a full moon Leo. Sorry, while it's in a full moon Leo, it's going to be opposing the sun, of course. It's going to be opposing Venus. It's going to be opposing Mercury, Mars. Isn't that exciting? No, it's not. Okay. So that makes it very interesting. So a lot of tug of war with the full moon and a lot of opposition. The full moon is already opposition. You're talking about main character conflict. So the selfishness, the leader, the king can't see eye to eye with the people, or the pride versus the greater cause. This is also going to be an issue. Heart versus the mind as well could be an issue. Relationships could be, there's a friction there. Creativity also could be an issue because this is something that's very analytical, likes the truth. This likes to be very creative. That also, so a lot of ego, me versus the collective we. Okay. Globally, there could be a clash of authority with this or something dealing with technology. There could be an issue there. This could be dealing with some finances as well. Venus is involved here. So we always have the money with Venus, and then it's opposing the people, it's opposing the emotions. So a lot of Leos or placements with Leos or anybody dealing with fixed signs, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo, you could be having some problems here. Okay. Now, the full moon is a precursor of this solar eclipse that we have coming up. So let's get ready for that. Yeah, but all my fixed signs, you will be feeling this full moon more than ever. When you have Mars there, you are talking about aggression, but it's aggression through the internet, aggression through rebelling, aggression through a lot of people, yeah, fighting for the people, rebelling, technology, AI, even people who are very awkward. I find that once Pluto hit once the sun turned into Aquarius, they did that streaming with Nick Fuentes. Sorry, I had to move my stuff. Nick Fuentes and Andrew Tate and some other people I did not know. They were all together streaming, and that is very Aquarius energy. The streaming. Now I remember looking at Nick Fuentes' chart because I read his chart. I probably did it behind paywall, and he had a lot of Leo placements. So let's see how he's operating with this full moon personally. I don't know if it hit any of his planets directly, but I do know he has Leo placements. But he's very awkward, and there's a lot of awkwardness. Something with streaming. I find that Kai Sanat may have some Aquarius without even looking at his chart, but this is very Aquarius energy is very streaming. So it's a streaming energy versus someone trying to be like, look at me, and it doesn't go well. I do want you to understand that. The air signs, though, you guys might be fine with this because all this energy is in air and it will be trining you guys. So like the Aries, not Aries, Aries, Geminis and Libras, Aquarius. Aquarius, you guys are feeling this the most, but you may be feeling something with this. So the full moon, I'll talk about it more detailed. I figured this is not a weekly video. But just be aware that the full moon is going to be there. Uranus is in Taurus on the 3rd, and it is going to stop retrograding on the 3rd. It's not showing, but later on. And when it stops retrograding or go direct, it'll be in 27 degrees. And you're talking about unexpected surprises will start to work. Okay. Technology, advancement, forward thinking, all that sudden momentum. Taurus rules the physical body and the throat and what we value. Those will start having some advancements. Also, to the banking system, maybe will be some innovative energy with that. Yeah, all my Taurus risings, I know you guys have a lot of surprises since it's been in here. So get ready to have more momentum with that. Maybe a breakthrough or wanting some sudden freedom in something. But there's the earth changing too, earthquake kind of energy, supply chain, because this is what we expect, but expect breakthroughs in how we produce food, how we manage our resources. All that when this starts going forward, because it will start changing. And this year, Uranus will enter Gemini, and that's a whole different energy. But get ready. There's a lot of last call energy, and it's going direct. This is why I think is the last retrograde for that. So expect the unexpected when it comes to stocks, finances, what we value. Um, uh, what else? Taurus rules earth energy, things that are very tangible, the census. So get ready for that. The future with all that farming, all that starts to happen. It's already happening, but it will really, because it's not retrograding, now the planet works. So a lot of surprises with that. So get ready for that. Now, February 5th, Mercury is going to square Uranus. So this is, Mercury and Uranus are kind of like the same. Uranus is a higher octave kind of energy, but this could be, since it's a trine, not a trine. Since it's a square, this is a challenge. There's a change here, and we're not happy. Okay. So there's a aha moment, and it's like, wait, I didn't want this. I didn't want this change. Okay. A lot of talking too fast, using technology, streaming again, major streaming. And maybe there's a surprise of something that someone values. This is nervous energy, a lot of glitches when it comes to technology. Now, Mercury, you will feel this a little bit before February 5th, so maybe more in January, towards the end of January, but a lot of glitches, market jolts. This could be whistleblowing kind of energy or leaks, because you are talking about information and communication. And now there's a sudden surprise, but just get ready for a surprise that people don't want it to change. So everyone needs to be flexible around this time. Now, February 6th, Mercury will then enter Pisces. I want you to understand, when Mercury's in Pisces, then Mercury will retrograde soon. Okay. Mercury is the planet of logic, communication, commerce, pranks. What else is it? Day to day travel. Yeah, anything in written form or communication form. Pisces is the energy of releasing, forgiving, martyrdom, of sacrificing, insecurity, very sensitive, very intuitive. When Mercury's in Pisces, first of all, it doesn't like to be in Pisces, okay? Because it's like, where's the clarity? Everything's not making sense. But Mercury in Pisces, instead of logic, you're using intuition. You just left intellect with Aquarius. Now you're all intuitive, and what is the stars saying, what are the tarot cards saying. Something is more about what I feel emotionally. Could be daydreaming, could be very spacey, very compassionate when it comes to communication. A lot of vivid dreams with this. Now, and that's what the Pisces energy gives you. It gives you a very compassionate energy. Now, because Pisces is Mercury is sitting in that Pisces energy, collectively, we could be seeing a lot of miscommunication. Also, a lot of things coming to light, because this Pisces energy is like to be in the dark. Also, too, this is very spiritual, very creative, very artistic, a lot of water. Also, oil is when you get with Pisces, drugs, pharmaceuticals, all that will be in the news. Um, it will be retrograding, and this is a mutable sign. So there's a lot of change when you have this energy. So when it's retrograding, just be careful with the driving, unexpected surprises, especially things that are very hidden and confusing. I do think when this planet enters Pisces and it starts to retrograde, intuition probably be a little confusing. People will be using, like the psychics will probably be giving predictions and are not quite right. People who are a facade will be more shady than ever. Okay. All the religious people or all the spiritual leaders, there'll be some issues with that. So, especially with that Neptune in Aries, a lot of fake leaders. So be aware of that. And we'll probably see a lot of that, especially when the sun comes and brings the highlight to it. We'll see the secrets, but this is major corruption and secrecy. Now, February 8th, we have Venus will square Uranus. Now, this is about relationships and finances and money. And you could be very impulsive when it comes to finances and spending a lot. Romantic stuff is like, okay, let's shake it up. I want some freedom. That won't go well. First of all, people who are going to want their freedom and be single, and the surprises happen, and it's just not going to work really good. Anyone who decides to dress different around this time may not go as well. You may not get like the attraction that you normally get, so be aware of that. It's very unusual, very bizarre. Meeting this friend, if you meet a friend around this time, may not be the best, or they may be really weird. It's a very awkward aesthetic energy and it doesn't go well. Financial issues for sure. I would think stocks, not a great day to trade that day. Digital rights, social movements. Venus in Aquarius cares about the collective harmony and social justice. The square could be a sudden conflict regarding women's rights because Venus represents women's rights. Something that's very digital or aesthetically digital and it doesn't work well. So, like all my influencers who are fashion designers or something fashion, there may be a clash here. Or even people who do like self care online, there could be an issue here that could be happening. This will affect mostly all my fixed signs. Okay. Um, it's just like, oh my gosh, okay, so it won't work with the Taurus, it's not going to work with the Scorpios, Leos, all those signs will have some issues with this placement, and that is February 8th. Now, February 10th is when Venus will enter Pisces. And Venus likes to be in Pisces, so this is great. And you're talking about a water sign, you're talking about love, compassion, creativity to the utmost, and giving to others. So, like, the heart is softened, there's heightened creativity. Everyone's looking with a lens, a rose colored lens. A lot of escapism when it comes to comfort and when it comes to like spa treatments or something. So, I could just see someone, Venus is in charge of when we're sitting on a couch and being lazy and now you're doom scrolling or you decide to get high. You attend a party where everyone's high, or maybe an artistic party. That's even the best thing. Hanging around a water, finding anything water, a large body of water being very beautiful. This is making the market very fluid, though. Finances, very fluid, up and down. Okay, it's like water, slipping through water kind of energy, but very feminine energy. Now, let me see. Venus. No, okay. Okay, yes. So that's what we have. Now, also, too, I do want to point out that Saturn, when did it go to 20? Okay, Saturn as of February 4th, I want to explain that Saturn hits 29 degrees in Pisces. This is Saturn. When it hits 29 degrees, there's a sense of urgency anytime the planets hit 29 degrees. And when it hits 29 degrees, February 4th, I want you to understand Saturn represents the government. It represents limitations, CEOs, the old man, the mentor, that person you look up to at work. It represents karma, a lot of lessons, restrictions, limitations, delays. Father of time. It's in the sign Pisces, so you can't quite see it. There's an illusion there. Someone's holding you back, and you're like, why is someone holding me back? This is also the issues with borders. So you had Saturn saying there's a border, but then in Pisces, where's the border? There's no border. These things are going to come up and be an issue, and there's going to be a sense of urgency. So there could be a major urgency around the borders. When Saturn enters Aries, to me, that represents war at the borders. So be aware of that. But there's a sense of urgency. Death is what Pisces represents. So it could be a death of a CEO or a corporation ending. A lot of forgiveness of something that's very strict, or there is a releasing for sure. Saturn is also dealing with death and decay. And in Pisces, you are dealing with endings. So something could be very much ending, just so you know that, okay? Back to the current time. I was talking about February 11th. Mercury is, where's my Mercury? Mercury is going to, what do I have in my notes? Okay, Mercury is going to start the pre-shadow phase. You won't see it's retrograding, but you will start to see some issues with retrograde here. Okay, so do know that at the same time, it's going to conjunct this north node opposed to south node, something with our future and our destiny and our karma. We feel it, but something's off, and it's going to repeat itself and teach us a lesson here. Okay, like a whisper of destiny. It's like, pay attention to the signs. Okay, faded conversations, soul purpose, clarity, spiritual teaching. Mercury and Pisces can be a little confusing, so the message could be, you're not understanding like what you're supposed to do. So be ready for that. Now, this is just the beginning of the retrograde for Mercury. Okay. So everyone needs to slow down, read the fine print, especially if you're dealing with anything, dealing with compassion, something you have to sacrifice, releasing, forgiving. If you're signing a contract and it's representing like the end of something, just double check it. Okay. Pisces also represents spirituality and religion, creativity. It represents photography if you have to sign or read an email about that, just know you have to be aware of it. Okay. Again, it's travel. Drive very slow. People could be changing their minds suddenly with that. Okay. Soft communication. Just document everything. Especially this is losing like photos of some sort. So just be aware of that. Hello, Sandra. You're uplifting, illuminating us all. We are so truly grateful for you. You always say the nicest things. Thank you so much for being here and commenting. It means the world to me. And what else do you have? You said here, all your selfishness and your hard work. TY, thank you for shining your shine. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you so much for being here and watching. Okay, so where was I? Okay, I was talking about Mercury in Pisces. Yeah, just a lot of illusions of spirituality. Great time for tarot reading, though. But when it's retrograding, I would be aware if any of these tarot readers or psychics are shady. Okay, now February 13th. February 13th. Also, too, when Mercury is post pre-shadow retrograding, the ruler of Mercury is Jupiter. That's retrograding in Cancer. A lot of sensitivity, people being overly sensitive. So just be aware of that as well. Okay. Now, February 13th, now the government, the man of power, that old man, that old mentor, is now in Aries and it's at 0 degrees. This is a disciplined warrior. There is calculated risk. This is about self mastery. This is about patience and timing. Aries wants it very impulsive. It wants to move fast. It wants to be in the now. Saturn says, let's slow down. You're pushing it too fast. So a lot of physical discipline too. So people are going to be more serious about working out. Now Neptune is here. So Neptune is making the illusions of like people are disciplined. So it's like they're putting it on social media, but they really are not social discipline. This is also military and the defense. Aries rules the military, and Saturn there makes things very restrictive. This is a leadership, like an old guard, Pisces, Capricorn style. Because you do have that Saturn, makes me think of a Capricorn. But a lot of stir ups. Okay, it's 0 degrees and it's in Aries. This is very, very strong. And we've had this before, but now it's coming back. So something could have been repeated that we had before that's coming back to this energy. At the same time, I don't have the exact date. So I wish I did. I have a video, and I should have linked it down below on this conjunction alone. So go ahead and check that video. I'll link it down below. I'll put it in the pinned comments. At the same time, I want you to know Saturn and Pisces is illusions, secrets, and being very serious about those secrets. Okay. At the same time, it's in the energy of war, fighting, government fighting, a religious fight. Remember I told you in the last video, a lot of people religiously being disrespectful at churches. They're being very impulsive. So you're going to get that. Even they did it with a mosque, at a mosque for Muslims. So a lot of religions being disrespected, not being paid attention to, glossed over. So be aware of that. Let me see what else we have. Saturn in Aries rewards self-made energy. What else? The Crusader complex being very short fused, the government being very short fused, the government being very impulsive with a lot of things. Yeah, and you can have a physical burnout. 0 again is very potent, it's very strong. And with the conjunction, you do have a lot of dreams being manifested because Saturn is the reality, Neptune is the dreams, Aries represents going and being fearless with those dreams. So you do have that. At the same time, you have that crusader who is fake. Okay. Physical, virtual reality. Let me see. Why do I have that? Physical, virtual reality. I guess VR, like escapism with that Neptune, and then that Saturn is like the reality of it. So let's see what happens with virtual reality with these placements, because it's going to be here for a good minute. Saturn is there for like 2.5 years. I think Neptune is 7 years. I don't remember the amount of years, but Neptune is going to be there for a good minute. But Saturn is not going to be there for that long. But I did a video on this separately. And what I would say, what I see negative is just a lot of war. What I see positive is being very strong when it comes to yourself. and making the dreams a reality. I will focus more on that energy than on the war. Okay. Everyone write down their dreams and be assertive and strong with it. Okay. Now, on the 15th of February, and we'll talk about it closer as we get to that week. On the 15th of February, the sun is going to square Uranus. At the same time, we have this energy. Okay. So, while you're sitting here and there's this illusion of this like strong leader or the government being impulsive behind closed doors kind of energy, then you have the ego and some surprises, okay, or like the leader doing something that's very unexpected. This is radical leadership. This is breakthroughs. And it's like, wait, I thought we were stuck, but now there's a breakthrough. Again, nervous energy, the ego versus the change. Something doesn't want to change. I find that the sun represents the leader, it represents the father figure, and it puts a light to something. So it can either put a light to like airplanes, because Aquarius represents airplanes, drones as well, something that's in the sky, because this is an air sign, but that needs navigation and that's very futuristic. So, get ready for that. But this could be some tech disruptions too. You could be on stage, like literally streaming and having some unexpected issues. You know what I mean? Like your camera falls or something breaks or something like that, because this represents um unexpected energy. And remember, we have that eclipse here. Look at the eclipse coming. So we'll see more of this. Again, Aquarius represents rebellion, live streaming, awkwardness, things in the sky. Okay, so be ready for that. This is going to again affect all my Scorpios, Taurus, and Leos the most. Okay. And I would suggest for you to check that ego. I would suggest you to be flexible, because this is very flexible energy. This is fixed energy, though, and it doesn't want to be flexible. So just be flexible. Now, on the 16th of February, Mercury will have a positive energy with Jupiter. This is great. This is very intuitive. This is all about your emotions. That sensitivity will actually work for you. This is about healing conversations, maybe even some creative downloads, very nostalgia or something from the past with medicine or narcotics or medication or anything that was addicting. Now it kind of works. There's a comfort zone with that. Very creative energy, very nurturing, very loving. As far as the collective, there could be something dealing with law that's discussed from the past, or our homeland in America, or your country, wherever you live. And there's a releasing or a forgiving there, okay? Let me see. Mercury's in his pre-shadow phase, so just be aware of any like leaks or gossip. That's from the past as well. Okay. Now, February 17th is when we have the annular solar eclipse. And this eclipse, I haven't really talked about as much. Let me scooch it back, but it is on the 17th. And it looks like it's going to be, is it 28 degrees? Did I have the degrees? Yeah, it's 28 degrees. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. That deals with homeland and where you feel safe in your community. I find that this is already happening. You have this happening with Iran, Israel, the wars of things. So be aware of that. Again, this is Aquarius energy. It's all about, and it's sitting next to the North Node. So it's something new that's coming our way. And it's already coming our way, but there's a new way of looking at technology, social media, communication, or the nerd, the intellect. Something that could be more dealing with that, even technology. So just be aware of that. Let me see. It's sitting next to Mars, so there's aggression, there's war. Someone's being assertive and very impulsive kind of energy. So AI could be taking off or changing or gaining something new. What else do we have? Yeah. So, I didn't do a video on the eclipse. I apologize, but I explained it in so many videos in different ways of what we're feeling and breaking it down to everything. But just know that I try to give everything Aquarius, and Aquarius sitting next to Mars is fighting with words, fighting through social media, fighting through technology, intellectual warfare. This could be like someone. Aquarius energy is not old; it's kind of young, but it's awkward. So it's like more power to an awkward person. I don't find that this is death, but it could represent death because it has the North Node in Pisces. Pisces represents death, but like an ending, but a new beginning. A beginning, we're getting something new that's ending, is what that means. Okay. So yeah, that's what we have. Also, too, that Pisces energy is a surrendering of something. So we do have that. Okay. But this very masculine, male energy, aggressive energy, anger, for a greater cause too. Now, on the 18th, we have solar return. Happy solar return to all of my Pisces. I need like dance music more. I don't have a button for that. But when the sun enters Pisces on the 18th, things change from the intellectual energy to more of a sensitive, dreaming, creativity, closure, forgiveness, addictions, focusing on drugs, focusing on great movies, photography as well. This is also charity. This is an invisible story, though, so be aware that Mercury's in Pisces, something you cannot see. This is major water themes because this is going to trine the Jupiter. So major water themes is going to bring luck to a lot of people. This is going to really work for all my water signs once it's Pisces season. So this is going to work with all the Cancers, all the Pisces, and all the Scorpios. This works great for you guys. Doesn't work great with any mutable signs. So the Geminis, now it's your turn to have some issues. Sagittarius, your turn, and Virgos. A lot of issues with you guys, but as a collective, there could be some music releases, a lot of cinematic releases. Now, Mercury's retrograding, so the release dates may be mixed up, or the details of stuff may be mixed up, but with the sun being there will be clarity on any conspiracy theories or secrets or dreams, or if you have something that you feel and it's very intuitive, energy will start to come to a light, but it's more of a feeling than something that's like very logical and practical or tangible kind of results. So paying attention to that. But if we're talking about worldwide, you're talking about deaths because Pisces represents endings and death. A lot of releasing of something worldwide. A lot of discussions of drugs too. Okay, so we have that, and drugs equals medication. Now, February 20th, we have Saturn will officially be sitting next to Neptune. Again, this is the structure, and there's dissolvement of a structure, something that is supposed to have an infrastructure, and it like wipes away. It's like, a tidal wave, water comes and cleans that structure away. This is also, too, aware that Pluto is in Aquarius. So we still have this planet that's intensity when it comes to technology. When we have this dissolvement of something, because everything in the sky is connected. So I want you to be aware of that. This is going to be very strong. We're going to feel it. So Saturn is the struggle, and Neptune is like the consciousness. And so there could be something with technology added with that energy. Now, this is also Aries represents self, and you have Saturn and Neptune. Saturn is the authority, Neptune is for the people, the compassion, the love. So something with authority and limiting that compassion could be a big issue. A lot of healing energy, a lot of visions, the illusion of the reality check too. A spiritual leader could be stepping up. Last time I did a chart reading on Ibrahim. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, and he's an African leader. That is this energy. So we might see more of him, but he might be limited in some way. But when Saturn clears up, maybe it will come forward. But also, too, this is a false leader, a false prophet of some sort. So be aware of that. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Now, far as the fire signs, this energy is going to work really well for you. So all of my Sagittarius, all of my Leos, this is going to work really good for you. Now, Saturn in Aries is going to limit and teach a lesson to all of my Aries, all of my Aries placements. If you're Aries rising, be aware of this. Okay. And be aware of that Neptune being there. I would use it more as a creativity and compassion and charity than to binge watch. And be aware, don't try any drugs. is what I really want to say. To all my Aries placements are fall a hole into anything that's very addicting. At the same time, I was going to say something else and I forgot. But with when this conjunction happens, the moon is involved here. So this could be something dealing with the government, and I'm keeping a secret, but dealing with the people at the same time. So be aware of it that day. Let me see. The dissolving Neptune boundaries, private with Sagittarius. Okay, so the dissolving of boundaries is what we still have here. Again, the war aspect is added in the self, and fire, wars, all that stuff. I think that a corporation may start, but it's like a fake corporation. That could be something that's happening. Let me see what else. The spiritual industry might be more serious or be taken seriously, or maybe a delayed with spirituality or some type of religious. Now, because here everyone was serious about religion. Here, everyone's serious about themselves. Everyone's serious about war. Everyone's serious about being aggressive and strong. And there's still some compassion here when you have that Neptune there. So I'm just trying to give you everything. My notes are like a little gibberish because I'm trying to hurry up and get all this out at the same time, which isn't great. I should just do a video once a week. Anyway, but I'm hoping you get information and you're understanding the predictions, because it's not hard, but it's all in my mind, and I don't want to forget any information that I'm saying. I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. Okay, anyway, February 22nd, and I do break this down more weekly. Venus is in the sign Pisces, and then it will officially trine Jupiter. This is really great energy, and you will feel this a little bit more. But you have two benefic planets, and you have them in water signs, and Venus likes to be in Pisces, and Jupiter likes to be in Cancer. So a very emotional abundance and positivity, like feeling great. Also, too, this is dealing with finances and what you naturally attract. This is great for people who are born in the daytime and born at nighttime, because both of these are benefic planets for both us, all of us. A lot of healing. Yeah, a lot of financial things are dealing with court. It may go your way this day. Harmony, balance, and abundance and luck. Very positive. Something that could be dealing with your home, your homeland, your past, your comfort, your security. Again, water signs, you would get the blessing more than ever. Those are my Scorpios, Cancers, and Pisces. I have a lot of water. So that's great for me. So yeah, you'll be feeling this a little bit earlier than February 22nd, but February 22nd is the official day. Now, also too, on this day, there's no chill, because then Mercury starts to retrograde. Where is my Mercury? Wait, okay. So February 26th. I have this on the 22nd, but February 26th, Mercury starts to retrograde. Actually, let me see the official date. February 25th, Mercury will officially retrograde. Okay. It will retrograde. Actually, let me see. It will retrograde at 22 degrees. Okay. 22 degrees is dealing with 24, 23, 20, your reputation, your public image, long-term results. So let's see what happens when Mercury retrogrades. Mercury retrograding, hold on, let me remove this, is a mental fog, revisiting some messages that are more spiritual or meant to be, or like your soul is calling you, faded kind of energy. You're being asked to look back with your emotional patterns, maybe like feel the feels, or what is it that there was an illusion about that needs to come up to the forefront. Now, things that are very secretive are not really good when Mercury is retrograding in Pisces. People who can keep secrets can no longer keep the secret. So that could be happening. For as tech and travel, I think this is going to be more of like you drop your phone in the water, or something water related with technology. It can happen, like you put your phone outside in the rain, something like that. Like a flood. You're stuck in a flood with your car. Something dealing with water, moisture kind of energy with technology. But also too, glitches with anything that deals with photography and photos and movies. And here I am streaming, especially with that Pluto in Aquarius. Yeah, but collectively, this could be something that is like a leader with death. This could be government not keeping the secrets. I got to look and see who's going to be effective with this as far as the charts. Yeah, but remember, Mercury doesn't like to be in Pisces, so it's really acting up. But a lot of deja vu moments, a lot of poetry could be re-releasing at the same time. Let me see, writing, like the poet who likes to write. When is that? Wuthering Heights comes out. Because Wuthering Heights, the book is about poetry, but that comes out February 14th. So I just wonder if it's like a film that comes out that doesn't really quite work its way or something like that. Also, too, Pisces represents fear. So a lot of fear, a fear in flying, a fear in driving day to day, something like that. And also to be aware of your thoughts when Mercury is retrograding in Pisces, because it can come true. So be aware of your negative thoughts. If you have a negative thought, just quickly switch it over to something positive, or say something positive to get the negative thoughts out. So like if you're like, I'm going to get in a car accident. Oh, what if I get in a car accident? Say, I will arrive safely to my destination. I will be happy and arrive safely to my if you got to yell it and shout it, just switch the momentum, switch the thought, because that Pisces energy likes to bring fear. Let me see. Just make sure you also take your time, check your boundaries. If people might not pay attention that you're setting boundaries when Mercury is retrograding, so be aware of that. Anyone who's navigation in the ocean, this is someone who gets lost in the ocean and they go to the ocean a lot, or they go to a lake a lot. More the ocean, so be aware of that. Yeah, so that's what we have. And then lastly, February. So we end February with this Mercury retrograde officially. And on the 27th of February, the sun will conjunct the North Node. This is your soul's compass. This is fated being recognized, surrendering to a higher power of what you're meant to do. A lot of success, a lot of letting go and releasing and tapping into that spirituality. And maybe this retrograde will make you do that and forgive of some sort, forgiving the father figure to move on in the future, letting go of the ego, releasing the ego. Yeah, a lot of sorry kind of energy and being okay with the sorry. Or it could be something that you're releasing and you don't want it to release, or a death of something that doesn't want to be a death, but the sun will highlight it. It's going to shine bright on, like, look, this is what you're supposed to do in your future. You're not doing it. Wake up. The sun is very strong. As you can see, it's over here. You feel the sun, you can use it naturally, and you didn't even ask for it to come. It's going to come regardless. So there will be something that you're supposed to do, and it's supposed to be for your future and your destiny. And it could be something that it could be an ending or forgiveness of something. Okay. At the same time, we're ending February with Mars squaring Uranus. Now, this one's a big one because this one is very fast. Mars in Aquarius moves very fast. And then Uranus is very fast energy. There could be a sudden break. And it's like, wait a minute, what is this impulsive energy? And it causes like disruption. And it's very aggressive, very impulsive. There could be physical restlessness at the same time. Now, this is supposed to give genius energy, right? But it's negative. There's a tension here. So it's like the intellect is too cold or too intellectual, or can't comprehend what everyone's feeling, because everyone's in their feels right now and you're just being aggressively intelligent, and it doesn't go well. Okay. This also could be issues with technology. If you're trying to pursue something tech wise, if you're trying to achieve anything with technology or flying, this could be an issue. Again, this could be crypto, anything dealing online, money. This is not the day to do it. Aviation, space, there could be something that's changing up there, or doing something. Again, being very aggressive, protesting. This is major protest. This is someone who's being aggressive, but they're awkward at the same time. There's something like weird about the situation, so be aware of that. Now, the most people who will feel this friction and this aggression will be all the fixed signs. So again, Aquarius, Taurus, Leos, and Scorpios. But once when Mars leaves, you guys will be a little bit better. So be aware of that. I would think the Aquarius, the fixed signs will be feeling this the most. Okay, so that is what we have. Oh wait, also too, Venus in Pisces is going to conjunct that Mercury retrograding in Pisces. If you have Pisces placements, an ex would definitely be calling you, women. Okay, there could be some misunderstandings with relationships, a lot of confusion, people living in secret when it comes to a bond or a partnership or a business partner. Money gets lost somewhere, so just be aware of that. Yeah, like a confusion or an illusion with a female friend, or the team is being a little shady, not responding or not seeing, because it represents team as well. Okay, now let me pull some cards for the collective for February. Let's see what we have here for the collective. What do we have to expect overall for February? We have the Six of Pentacles, a lot of people giving and a lot of people receiving when it comes to tangible items. We have the Ace of Wands, a lot of God giving us energy for drive, fight, passion, creativity, standing up for our values. And then we have the Six of Cups, a lot of things coming up from the past, a lot of redoing things that feel very comfortable. Makes me think of Cancer energy. We have the Ten of Pentacles, abundance for families. Very great. And I'm going to pull, we have not much very negative. Really, we don't have anything negative. We have a page of wands. So this is like a strong female leader. Something with a strong female leader will be happening. There's a lot of resources happening this month. In February, a lot of things from the past, and Jupiter is in Cancer, so a lot of blasts from the past, things that are very comfortable and it feels very nostalgic will be coming. But abundance with families, family members, and families will be thriving. It will probably be best to hang out with family a lot in February. God is giving new opportunities for everyone to feel motivated and passionate. And to be bold and to do things very not out of the box, but in a very courageous way. Okay. And then lastly, a lot of giving and receiving. And that would make sense with Pisces energy. Pisces like to give, is very charitable, and the less fortunate will be receiving a lot. Okay. So that's what we have for February. One card fell. And we need to be paying attention to giving and compassion more than anything this month. All right. So that's what we have this month. You guys, next month, next video, which will be tomorrow, I will do the horoscopes. And then I will do tarot for February. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye.